Welcome to another edition of Lone Star Brahmas Inside the Bullpen. Brought to you by Acme Bread. If you don't see the Acme name, you're not getting Acme quality. And now, here are your hosts, Nick Merritt and Chad Seaward.
Brahmas gang is back for Inside the Bullpen. The Lone Star Brahmas are moving on to the South Division Finals. Nick Merrick, Chad Seaward, Megan Kim, ready to give you the juicy hot takes here on this episode. And right off the bat, we have to go over the Wildcat recap from a few weekends ago. But
look at you rhyming. Wildcat recap.
I like that.
That is pretty good.
I sat up all night thinking about that.
I bet you did. And that rhymes with Wildcat. And anyway, as you were saying,
great start, gentlemen.
We're swerving all over the road right from the start, as it should be.
Well, the Brahmas won 3-0 in that series in the best of 5. So it was the first sweep they've had in the postseason this year. Obviously, in the first round, it's their third overall series win since joining the North American Hockey League. And Megan thought, obviously, our thoughts, team had maybe a little bit of a scare for some of the fans, but they made it through the 3-game stretch without giving up a win for the Wildcats. That was pretty solid.
Yeah.
So, who was shocked? Raise your hand, even though it's a radio thing and no one can see our hands raised up, if you're shocked that we scored 7 goals in Game 2. Because this guy right here.
Yeah,
right
for
here,
sure.
Hands up.
All year we've had a sponsor in Abuelos with the 5-goal challenge that they had to reduce to okay, we'll do the 3-goal challenge. All right, if you win, all right, screw it. Everybody gets queso if you're in the building. And then on Saturday night,
promotion.
We just absolutely, that was ridiculous.
And 7 different goal scorers.
I know.
Which is always fun.
Well, it's funny, too. The only time we scored 7 goals all year was the first game of the season.
Interesting.
And we had, 2 hat tricks that game?
Yeah.
So totally different way to do it this time.
Way different way to do it.
It was
Glover.
Glover. Glover was one of those hat tricks,
yeah,
right?
Glover
and
and
I
York
think
were the 2.
York, yeah.
Yeah, so I was shocked. The scoring just did not stop. And then Megan, that's not your first game in Wichita Falls. You've been to other games this year, right?
Yes.
So you guys were there. I was on dad duty. Tell me the atmosphere in the K. Yeager Coliseum.
I think it's a pretty, if you've never been, it's a pretty big venue, so it's kind of hard to fill on a good day. It was not so much a good day, I think. It gets a little echoey. We had a bunch of Brahmas fans there, so that was very fun. When the boys came out, they cheered. They brought cowbells. It was a good old time if you're a Brahmas fan, maybe less of a good time if you're a Wildcats fan, because it was a little sparse there, but the people who were there were passionate, so props to them. It was overall, it's a cool arena, I have to say.
No, it's a cool arena.
It's a really cool arena. They have a huge Jumbotron.
Absolutely.
Overall, terrific experience. It's just a shame that you can't get it filled up just because of...
Well, that is a tough thing.
It's just
that
huge.
Is a very tough thing.
Even if you have the same number of people here as opposed to there, it's just going to seem like so much less. If you have, 1,300 people here, it looks pretty good. If you have 1,300 people there, it looks like there are 5 people there.
No, from working games in the Fort Worth Convention Center, I totally get it and totally agree. We had 4,000 people for a game there in 2012, and it was absolutely 100% embarrassing. It was like people were like, where are all the people? Where are the rest of the fans? And the answer is, this is all of the fans. It's just more seats were built than people could ever be in.
It's the same amount of fans, just more seats, so it looks like fewer fans. Simple, common sense there.
And that game went to overtime. It was a good game.
It was a great game.
Yeah, it was wild.
I thought it was a lot of fun.
No, a big shout out to the Wildcats, too, for making sure the Brahmas didn't rest easy on Friday night, to say the least. I think the Brahmas team kind of needed that. O'Rourke said the team wasn't really challenged too much during the regular season. Obviously, they had their moments of getting hot teams and all that nature, but it's not like the Brahmas have been in a tough point of the year where they really had to dig themselves out. So I think getting that, all right, we're in playoffs, we're up in a 2-goal lead. Oh, we blew a 2-goal lead, but then still come back to win it. It does help, but it was fun from a viewers' perspective, I think they enjoyed it. I think everybody was on their edge of their seats. And for the fans who don't know, the Wichita Falls Wildcats have officially ceased operation, and they are no longer going to be a part of the North American Hockey League, or at least from our standing, even next year in any other hockey league, as there were no buyers for that team. The fans who may be in the know, the Kenai River Brown Bears up in Alaska near Fairbanks, they were going to fold after this year, but they ended up raising $300,000 within like a span of a month. So big round of applause to them.
What a story right there. I love that.
Huge. And the Knoll obviously loved it as well. They saved them for at least another year. And hopefully they will be able to come back and challenge some other teams. I know the Kenai River's looking for another head coach, but that's besides the point.
Well, it's coaching carousel right now for a lot of teams. I mean, there's several vacancies and moves. It's just like the National Hockey League. It's no different. You suck during the year, and chances are your head is on a chopping block. That's the way sports goes.
Right.
And Kenai has, let's face it, they've sucked for a while.
Yeah. No, they have.
They've been a punching bag for the Fairbanks Ice Dogs.
I know, who I'm sure loves having them come back, obviously, for travel's sake, for winning's sake, for fan base sake, for kind of a lot of things. They play 16 games head-to-head up there.
Yeah, but going back to our closest rival, which was Wichita Falls.
Yes.
They were never easy.
No.
In fact, you weren't around that first year in the Knoll, 13-14 season, but I remember going up there and routinely being beaten 8-1, 8-2, 6-0 in front of 45 fans. Totally embarrassing. That club has been good. And then, when we did the preseason show this year and we were talking about, they got the NAHL all-time leading wins guy and Tony Curtali to come up there and coach, we were like, oh, my God, this is going to be a juggernaut this year. And then things worked out differently.
Yeah. That was pretty much a tipping point there. I mean, huge shout-out. I think we both share this sentiment. Huge shout-out to the organization, though, and the front office, and obviously the coaching staff with Josh Nelson late in the year. Huge respect for them on the ice, off the ice, the players. Very good group of guys. They're a very young group of guys. A couple of their junior careers came to an end on the sad note. I think there were 5 age-out years who are going to college next year. But other than that, everybody else can come back for another hurrah, whether it's with another Knoll team, maybe with a team like the Brahmas. It'd be really fun to see if a couple Wildcats come the Brahmas way, but that's kind of that'll be a coaching decision. But just huge tip of the cap for them for a good way to, I guess you could say, end their year. I feel bad they swept. They got swept obviously by us, the Brahmas, losing 11 straight to Lone Star to kind of terminate the franchise for now. But
I mean, they didn't skid to the finish. They went off the mountain and completely. That was a really really bad ending to a franchise.
I mean, that's tough. Like when you're what they were. They would have been 9-1-0 or something against the Brahmas during the regular season. It's like,
it's tough. I mean,
it's tough to win, or even 8-1-0. I think it was 8-1-0.
But every time we played them, it was good. Their fans came down. Our fans go up there or went up there. God, my English is really bad today. Our fans would go up there. And that's like we were talking about doing the watching party, which shout out to those people that made it to Zuroma for the watching parties. Good number of TVs playing the game. We had a new sound bar installed so that your voice was booming from inside Zuroma. Good crowd there. But one thing I kept saying to our staff here is, like, let's don't worry too much about the watching party. Our fans are so loyal. They're all headed north to the game. And when the game was clinched, when the series was clinched in overtime, and you see the fans cheer, that angle from the stands, it's all Brahma fans cheering. I mean, it looked –
right. It was. No, when the game winner happened, the Brahmas fans all came together. They wanted to sit together. I love that. I think that was really cool.
Of course.
A major shout-out to all the fans that went there. I know the team was raving about it. Like, man, that was pretty cool. Like, we got the game winner. The fans were there cheering. Like, it felt a little bit like a home place for them just because, obviously, the short distance of a drive. The fans loved it because it was only an hour and a half. So, from that standpoint, it's going to suck to have them out of the league next year.
And so, as we continue our eulogy for the Wichita Falls Wildcats, I believe 04 they came into the league.
That sounds right.
Had a long run.
They had good old Chad Costello.
Yep. They had Chad Costello. They did win a Robertson Cup during their time.
Americans.
Is that right? They won a Robertson Cup. Wichita Falls did.
I
think
no,
so.
I don't think they did.
I think so. Look that up.
All right, I'm looking it up.
We're looking up in stats. Anyway, if they didn't win a Robertson Cup, they were definitely in the mix for it several times.
Sure.
Very good squad over the years, and they didn't.
No.
Okay, it was Amarillo I'm thinking of.
Oh yeah. Amarillo won.
Amarillo, yeah.
Like the year before I came.
So ashes to ashes, dust to dust. So ends the Wichita Falls Wildcats.
Right.
That, like we said, that's a cool arena, and it's always going to be when you talk about a team wanting to relocate from a place like Kenai River or Sioux region or Cooley region or some distant outpost like that. Wichita Falls is always going to be attractive because there's a college there, there's an Air Force base there,
right.
There's over 100,000 people there. It's close to the Metroplex, and it's a great arena. So
and you're close to Oklahoma City.
Yeah, and it will not shock me at all if a team does end up there again.
It wouldn't shock me if that ownership group decides to move out east too. 'Cause I know they have affiliates out towards like New Jersey area, but
yep,
that wouldn't be surprising either. Yeah, we'll see what'll come of that. But obviously now all eyes are going to be on the Corpus Christi series, and this is the big point the fans were waiting to hear on the podcast.
This
today.
is breaking. Let me get some breaking news music here.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna wait to cue this one up.
We have breaking news coming out of League HQ. Let's see. I'm just gonna grab the first piece of audio I have. Let's see what we got here. This is your breaking news sound. You're listening live to coverage of breaking news. Okay, well we have a problem with the news sound machine. Nick, tell the fans.
I won't even edit that one out. That's great.
No, you got to keep it
keep that
as is. I was fumbling for our news sounder and I failed miserably. But
here, let's see. We'll share one by one. I like that. Games 1 and 2 against Corpus. Everybody knows it. Friday, Saturday, NITEX, 7:30. The breaking news portion. Game 3 is
the same as Game 4 in McKinney, Texas. They're not the Corpus Christi IceRays. They are going to be they are the Corpus Christi IceRays, but they're
going to be the McKinney IceRays.
They're going to be the McKinney IceRays, which makes zero sense. But the McKinney IceRays, as we're calling them, the McKinney Star Center. Yep. So that is the rink up there in McKinney. It is a very small, we'll call it friendly confines rink, and it's going to be Tuesday and Wednesday. What is that? May.
Oh, geez.
What was that? 2nd and 3rd?
Anyway,
Nick.
Yes.
We don't do a lot of prep work on this,
no, we
this
don't.
podcast. Is that 2nd and 3rd?
We just found out. We knew it was Tuesday, Wednesday. 2nd and 3rd. 2nd and 3rd of May, 7:15, games 3 and 4. Game 4, obviously, if necessary, in McKinney at the Dr. Pepper Star Center in McKinney, Texas.
Okay, now here's the thing for the fans. You did an awesome job going to Wichita Falls. McKinney is closer than Wichita Falls, depending on where you live in the Metroplex. There's no pre-sale. There's no online tickets. It's basically going to be like a high school football game. You're going to show up. There's going to be some sort of makeshift box office. You're going to pay. You're going to get in, sit wherever you can, and boom, there you go. We need everybody to literally flood this place. And it won't take much to be flooded. I think, 200-300. Corpus is trying to sell everybody that there's 500 seating capacity for 500.
Yeah, maybe 250.
Either way, if our fans show up, just the same group that went to Wichita Falls, maybe we pick up a few more. It's going to be ridiculous. It's going to be Brahma fans all around that place, and we will give that building definitely the loudest game it's ever had.
No, and obviously they're doing that to try to avoid the Brahmas having home ice since it's close to the league headquarters, and obviously Corpus Christi was in a pinch because they couldn't play back at their rink in the
American Bank Center.
I was about to say American Bank Center, and I thought it was
Nick
Amarillo for some reason.
We should stay on that for a second because here's the thing with an arena like that. We are very blessed here at the NITEX Sports Center to have our own arena where our team practices and our team offices are. It's a very rare situation in the league. We never have to worry about things coming in at the end of the year like the rodeo and then Disney on Ice or Josh Groban practicing for a tour or a Celine Dion concert. These things will not happen during the hockey season because hockey is the main priority here in Brahma Land. I may or may not have been called a smartass by someone who may or may not have won an Executive of the Year award earlier in my reference to where the games are going to be. But one thing that was told to me was for me to worry about where our games are played, and that's one thing that I don't do. I don't ever lose sleep over where our games are played because it's always right here in our building. So I know it sucks when your team and your facility has to have different events, and it's a machine that feeds the community, and the tourism and travel dollars and everything are coming in based on these concerts and events and things. But that's how it goes when you're playing in a big place like that. It happened to Topeka before. They had no home ice in the playoffs past the first round.
Right.
Famously, it happened to, I referenced Josh Groban, and we kind of all giggled, but I think it was Josh Groban who was not even having a concert at the CenturyTel Center in Bossier. He was rehearsing for a tour, and he had the whole week, and it was like Shreveport had gotten far enough in the playoffs. I think it was like conference finals or something.
He would give nothing up.
No, they iced. There was no. It was like his sound gears all around, his video board. He's testing his. I don't know what Josh Groban sings. I know I don't listen to that particular brand of garbage, but he had rented the arena.
Wow, Chad, my mother likes Josh Groban.
Okay, I should not diss Josh Groban. I will piss all over Nickelback, but that's another story. So he's set up. He's practicing in Shreveport. They had to literally play their home games in the Allen Event Center, and it was such a charade. We're laughing because when it was technically supposed to be Shreveport's home game, they're sitting on the Allen bench, and Allen is on the visitors' bench, and they're wearing their different home and away jerseys.
Yeah, it's bizarre, probably.
Even though it's the same fan base for every game, it's the same PA announcer, it's the same DJ, it's the same dancers.
Like, nope, they're the road team.
No, Allen's on the road today.
It sounds like we had to do the NA3HL, obviously, for travel reasons.
Yeah.
It's like, just switch out jerseys between game 2 and 3.
Yeah. So, I mean, that sucks for Corpus. I feel bad for them that they made it farther than they've ever made it. They had, the most wins for their franchise?
Yeah. No, I love it. It's their first NAHL series victory in the last round. They did it with a sweep to the expansion team, the Mudbugs.
A good expansion team, too.
Really good. They won the organization of the year because of how quickly they turned that around. Plus, no offense to Northeast Generals, but that was kind of the comparison points of the two expansion teams. And when you, me, and Walt before in the podcast, right when Megan was coming into the scene, we were saying, hey, it's pretty funny. The first game of the showcase is going to be Shreveport against Northeast. Yeah, we'll see you later, Generals. That really worked out well for you.
Right.
But huge, in terms of Brahmas fans for this week, be blessed, as you said. This is a huge opportunity for the fan base to make it feel like a home game for the Brahmas. It's in McKinney, Texas. They could have went. I mean, I'm sure they have probably exhausted these options, but we were kind of joking, saying, why wouldn't they go to Shreveport? That would be a great venue because of the fan base in Shreveport. It's very
fan
neutral.
base that basically hates us.
Yes, it's very true as well. And yeah, that would definitely give them a home field vibe. I think
listen,
Pat. They had to go McKinney, obviously.
Pat White, that's our State Farm agent. Pat Dunn from
Tough
Corpus.
day over here.
It is.
A good neighbor.
Pat, like a good neighbor, Pat White is there, folks. Let's take a second and talk about insurance needs, and Pat White is your guy. If you want to talk Corpus Christi IceRays hockey, Pat Dunn is your guy. And I know he went everywhere in the Southwest to try to find a suitable venue, and I know he worked on it 12, 14 hours a day until he just probably wanted to smash his head against a wall. It's tough. I mean, there's some good options out there, but good options not cheap. I mean, do you want to pay $10,000 a game to rent out the Cedar Park Center or San Antonio Center? I mean, to have 500 fans there, not really the best use of dollars. So in the end, McKinney it is, and as they say, as the saying goes, it is what it is.
Right.
We will adapt, adjust, and overcome.
The IceRays got up here literally on Monday night. So they've been in the Metroplex area since then, practicing there, I believe, as well. So they're obviously gearing up for the series. I think it's going to be a fun one. To switch gears off of that, so now we know it. 1-2 NITEX this Friday and Saturday. Games 3 and 4. That's Tuesday the 2nd, Wednesday the 3rd of May, 7:15 at the Dr. Pepper Star Center in McKinney. And then Game 5, which we didn't get to, if necessary, will be Saturday, May 6th, the anniversary of the Brahmas winning the Central Hockey League Championship. That's at 7:30 here at NITEX. Should be a lot of fun. We'll get to our prediction in just a second.
Yes. Should be a lot of fun. We look forward to not having Game 5 here and finishing the series before then. But
as Megan knocks on wood,
this
covered.
This will not be an easy task. This Corpus matches up very well against us, and
stupidly well. It's funny.
Yes, they were probably the one team out of the 4 in the playoffs that we did not want.
Shreveport technically did a little better.
Yeah, Shreveport.
The Brahmas are
want to play
7-4-0 against Corpus Christi, but a couple of those games went late in the period 3, and I think one went to overtime as well. Mm-hmm. So it's gonna be a battle.
It'll be fun, is what we're saying.
It's gonna be fun.
By fun, we mean possibly stressful.
Yeah, like if you thought Wichita Falls was gonna be a cakewalk, don't expect the same for this series.
No, I don't expect anything like that. I expect it very, very tight game, very
more physical.
Way more physical.
They're much more physical than the Wildcats.
And I do pay attention to the North American Hockey League. I couldn't name one of the Wichita Falls goalies.
Dempsey and Moyes for the 2.
Well, yeah.
Okay, Austin Smith from a while ago.
Yeah, and Austin Smith. So there you go.
Godspeed.
So shout out to Austin Smith. So I didn't even know who their goalies were. And Wichita Falls, they were very good, but Corpus has, of course, the guy.
Tomas Vomachka.
What's the deal with Vomachka?
He's pretty good, I hear. He's listed on the NHL Central Scouting List. I think he was the 14th ranked goaltender in North America. And I think he's gotten, honestly, I'd say he's gotten stronger as the season has gone. I wasn't super impressed at the beginning. I was like, he's, good, but he's, really picked up because he's adjusted to the league.
Yeah, he had to adjust his style.
Yeah, he had to adjust his style, and he's looked really good. He looked great against Shreveport. If you want to know, his first game was a 21-save shutout. He made 45 saves the next night in a 5-3 win, and then he made 37 saves in their OT win to send them to the South Final. So he's been very good for them.
I actually have a great comparison point for Brahmas fans here. I just have to pull up the exact numbers to get it right. But, okay, here we go. So Jake Kupski, everybody should know that name in Brahmaland. His first handful of playoff games in the first series was against the Wenatchee Wild 2 seasons ago. Of course, now it's not loading. There we go. He played Wenatchee Wild, and in the first 3 games, Jake Kupski got 3 wins. For Tomas Vomachka's first 3 games, all against Shreveport Mudbugs, he got 3 wins. Kupski stopped 100 of his first 104 shots. 100 of his first 103 shots. Tomas Vomachka stopped 101 out of his first 104 shots.
So
very comparative in postseason to start.
What you're saying is it will be very hard to score on a brick wall such as that.
Yes.
However,
what I'm saying is
it's 103 saves, 104.
You screen him, you get in front of him, you don't let him see the puck. Crash the net.
Right.
Cause some chaos in the crease. Shreveport likes to shoot.
I love chaos.
They shot, but I think you get down and dirty in the crease.
Well, and make no mistake about it, our goaltending duo is not too shabby either.
No.
I'd say they're pretty good.
Max Brodzik did a very fine job against Wichita Falls.
Bang on.
And
both him and Vomachka got shutouts in the first game. That was the only 2 of the only 16 goaltenders in day 1 to do that.
So to compare this series to something that I know very well, you're reading my mind right now, Megan. I would expect more of a Boston and Ottawa type series. If you followed the Boston Bruins and Ottawa Senators series, all the games were 1-goal games, overtime games, and both goaltenders were just unbelievable the whole way through the series. So that's kind of what I expected, just a tight series the whole way around here against Corpus. Some predictions. Megan, we'll start with you. What do you say?
Brahmas in 4. I would rather not go to game 5. I don't think it'd be good for my blood pressure. Honestly, just wouldn't be good for my health. I have to look out for that, you know? I would prefer Brahmas in 4.
Okay. Brahmas in 4, Nick.
I would honestly, to be the safe route, I'm going to go to the same, but I would have said 5 if we played in Corpus. I think playing in McKinney is not really going to help any team, but it doesn't help the IceRays like playing in the American Bank Center would. So I think Brahmas in 4 tough games. But bold take is the Brahmas do take the first 2.
Yeah.
I think they'll win home and home. They'll win both games Friday, Saturday at home to start.
I'm going to say Brahmas in 3 because they're pissed and they want to get on to the next day. And, enough of this. Let's go ahead and win it in 3.
Sure.
Guys have been practicing pretty hard. I mean,
yeah.
For the most part, working on a lot of things.
They're pretty focused down there.
Seem
they
like
are.
it.
Everything's not as much there's no more new drills. It's now perfecting all the little things, which is what you want to see.
Yeah, and from an injury standpoint, I mean, we're A-okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, knock on wood there.
I mean, I'll knock on a little bit of wood there. Yeah, so I still think Brahmas in 3. I think we're just too much heat for Corpus Christi to handle all the way around. And that's what I got to say about that. And there it is. We'll see.
I can see that. The winner of this series, by the way, moves on to Duluth. So that's where the Robertson Cup semifinals, a.k.a. your NAHL Final Four and championship game are held. It's over Mother's Day weekend for those who do want to think advance. I know we're already thinking of going, not because the Brahmas winning, just because it might be a fun scene to go.
Yeah, take mom.
Support junior hockey.
No, exactly. I think the junior hockey scene, especially in the NAHL up there, will be a blast. Of course, would I love to have the Brahmas win and then host it? Absolutely. No doubt. I think that's going to be the next hot take for a future podcast. I think the fans wouldn't mind hearing that take either. But obviously, it's cool to get the scouts. It's fun to be able to travel for a team that really doesn't get to leave the state too often, with, of course, the exception of Shreveport and Topeka. It's just different scenery for them. Kind of gets that, I don't know, from the players, you get that, oh, wow, I'm treated great. League's going to fly us out to Duluth, and this is awesome. We're going to be right by Minnesota Duluth campus, and NCAA scouts will be there, and fans will be there, and parents will be there.
But no cart before the horse. It's
No.
all about this series. Yes,
Right.
it is a fantastic thing.
No,
but,
100%. But obviously, either Corpus Christi IceRays or the Brahmas will have that kind of treatment. For the next
one of these teams is going to be in for it. And,
Yes.
and I would say whoever wins out of these two teams, you would have to be heavy favorites to be at least in the finals.
Yes. I would probably agree with that. I think the
and
South
then
proved themselves very well.
The way that we've got this gong show one-game finals for the whole season,
it's tough.
anything can happen.
That's tough.
I mean, we've bitched about it and said it's not any good before to have the one-game championship, but I mean, it's the Super Bowl. Anything can happen. It'll be interesting.
Literally, especially the last couple
I
weeks.
think it's more dramatic. I don't think the best team would always win.
No, I agree.
It's dramatic, right?
I agree. It's dramatic and it's great. And
Well, if you love defensive hockey, come out. I guess the one caveat to that for the quote-unquote road games, a.k.a. the neutral site game in McKinney, we never got to this. Obviously, we mentioned please come out, flood it, obviously. Yeah. There will be first there's a post-game skate on Saturday night after
Correct.
Game 2. It'll be the final skate of the season with the Brahmas. So definitely come out to Game 2 if you can't make it for Games 1 and 2 for whatever reason. There's a good reason. For those neutral site games, please, 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 please come to those games. Yes, there will be a watch party, but from that standpoint, we don't know the quality
here's the thing.
of the broadcast that you're going to be able to get from that.
You're sugarcoating it a little bit. The arena is not really set up for hockey broadcast. It's small. It's smaller than our West Rink. There's not really a good vantage point for a broadcaster setup and a camera.
Right.
So, I mean,
Our West Rink actually would have. It has that little podium up
it
top.
does. It does.
That should have been the neutral site, the West Rink.
I agree. But so,
take.
I mean, yes, we'll have a watching party in Zaroma for
Yes.
these games if you cannot make it. If it's too hard to get from work over to McKinney, I totally get that. Fighting
course.
traffic during the week in Dallas-Fort Worth, going from Fort Worth to McKinney is not an easy thing. But don't expect the best camera angle or possibly even, I mean, they've never had a broadcasted a game before out there.
Right.
So
We're in uncharted territory, is
Big
what we're
time
saying.
uncharted.
we
I mean,
totally are.
We'll muddle through as best we can.
Absolutely.
in
Nick
literally
Merrick
a
will be
week.
on the call.
Right.
Colin Shuck will be on the call for
Right.
Corpus.
Yep.
So quality broadcasting, you can count on that. The rest of it, who knows?
Yeah. No, the games will be finalized in under a week. So
Yeah.
that's why we're saying if you can make it out there, it's obviously better. But, there's the predictions. There's the
But pack that place.
episode.
Pack that place and
Pack
get
it.
there early because it's, they're going to shut things down. We have heard there will be security guards there to control all of you out-of-control Brahma fans. So make sure you are on your best behavior. You don't want to end up in the McKinney jail for any of your out-of-control behavior. Not that any of you would do anything out of control. Unless banging a cowbell is illegal now. We need to check the city ordinances in McKinney and make sure that that's allowed. It's kind of a stuffy environment up there. So
That would be funny. No cowbells.
yeah.
No fun allowed here.
The nickname for the Allen Americans arena back in the day from our fans was the library because it was quiet and reserved, and over here it was kind of like bedlam at every game. So bring the bedlam out east to McKinney, and let's see what happens when we have Brahma Nation present and going berserk.
That's great. Final thoughts, Megan? Anything?
No, I'm pumped to get going. I'm like literally losing sleep over this, so I would just like to let's get this done.
We got a couple sleepless nights ahead of us. By the way, there will be game programs available as well. We're going to be working up, finishing those bad boys here. And get ready for game 1 and 2. Brahmas bringing the juice. One
You bring
team,
the bedlam. The
one
boys will
dream.
bring the juice.
There you go.
We'll make it happen.
That's right. Go Sens too if you're watching the National Hockey League while we're stumbling here at the finish
Go
line.
Caps!
Go Sens go against the New York Rangers.
And as Scott Plord says, to give us the best close off of this 30-minute podcast, go Brahmas.
This has been Inside the Bullpen with the Lone Star Brahmas, brought to you by Acme Brick. Acme Brick, it's the best thing to have around your house.